Hey, it's Dustin. Welcome back to Running With The Wolves. Today we have Tristen Montalvo from St. Cloud High School, a senior and a front runner, or one of the front runners for the 4A state title in cross country this year in Florida, of course. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how high school has been for him as a runner, how this year has gone, some goals for cross country season, track season, the future for him, and a little bit about the recruiting process and for sure talk a little bit about how kids are starting to get faster, and lastly we'll talk about what running means to him, because that's what we do here. So without further ado, we'll get to our first question. Again, thank you, Tristen, for coming on. What has your senior year been like for you this year? How has it gone presently?
It's going good. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Of course, it's super stoked. Honestly, I'm gonna go into that. I remember when you started this, I was like, dude, like I want to be on that podcast for sure. Like when I found out that you guys are doing the podcast and stuff, because I've always found it interesting to like podcasts and things like that, just to be able to talk about anything, really. So definitely keep it up. But yeah, so senior year has gone a lot better running wise than it did last year. So last year I actually had probably a really tough season, not just like physically but mentally. And I'll be like the first to say, I'd say the biggest reason why, as a physical standpoint, as to why it was so hard was because I didn't train well that summer. I honestly didn't put in a lot of training. I didn't put in any miles really over the summer. So my junior year, both cross country and track, was like really hard because obviously on the mental level, everyone knows when you're running, if you're not PRing, then you start to feel like, you start to lose that confidence in yourself, and you start to lose that motivation that you have for it. And so I went into like a really rough patch my junior year, and then over the summer, senior year, I put in more training, and I was still having a rough time with running, to be honest. I was struggling, finding that motivation to get out and run. And then it wasn't until like cross country season was actually starting, maybe like a couple weeks out before like the first meet of the season, or no, first like practice, like official practice, and is when I actually started like hit hard with cross country, and I got that like love and that motivation back of running that I had. So it's been going really well. I feel a lot stronger than I did last year and any other years. I feel a lot stronger, and I feel more confident for sure going in. I mean, you definitely got to be really confident if you're like up in the running for state champs. So it's been going really well. And mentally, it's been going good. Athletically, I think it's going good. So still got a couple weeks left to go, but we'll see how it runs.
Now, since you are going to Foot Locker South, or you are going into the state series, obviously, are you planning on going to Foot Locker South as well?
Yeah. I was actually talking with Paul Safford and Brady, and we were going to actually try and get together to head up. But it was kind of difficult because we all had different ideas on when to actually go up.
Yeah.
Brady is
I'm experiencing
planning
the same thing because I'm going up too.
Yeah, so it's like everyone's going on like different days. Everyone has like different days that they want to head up. So it was like Brady wanted to go like Wednesday, and now he said he might even be going sooner. Paul wanted to leave at least either
On
Thursday or earlier, So and then for me, I don't want to miss Thanksgiving. Like I do things on Thanksgiving here, so it was probably going to be like Friday morning if I was going to leave. So it was kind of difficult, but either which way, I'm pretty sure we're all going. Paul, I believe, is going, right?
Yeah, he's going, and so is Brady.
Yeah, I know Brady's going. I'm not sure. The only reason why I wasn't sure about Paul is because I remember he was telling me he was going to find a ride, but I wasn't sure if he got it or not. So I definitely plan on going. I went last year, and last year was just like...
Oh, it's a blast. I love it.
Yeah. It's so much fun. But last year I went in like I had no one tell me like what it was like, what to expect or anything like that. So this year definitely I'm going with my teammate. Actually, two of my teammates are going with me. So it's just going to be a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now what is so the main goal you said is to obviously try and win state. You're seeded top 5 for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's pretty close. There's no clear front runner like there is in 1A with Trevor Foley or 3A with Michael Phillips this year.
Yeah.
Now that Josh Collins hasn't run as fast this year,
Mm-hmm.
it's more like 2A, not even 2A, because I guess there's really only 2 people that could really win 2A.
Yeah.
But with 4A this year, it seems like there's been Andrew Miller, who ran really well in the beginning of the year. Then there's you, who's come on as the season's gone along. You ran 15:51 at FSU. Ben Hartsbigton, who ran 15:37 at FSU. There's a few, and Deshae Fernandez ran 15:50, and Bryce Bell has run 15:50 as well.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's really no clear front runner right now. Everyone's within about 20 seconds of each other. So what are you looking to do going in?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, it is. It's really close. And I think I talk to my teammates about this all the time because we're always talking about the different classifications and how they're all different. And, like, 4A is really interesting because if you look at 4A, like, leading time, 4A is, like, the slowest of, like, if you look at, like, leading times. You have, like, 1A, you got Trevor Foley running, like, 15:20s. You got 2A, you got Michael Phillips, who ran 14:59 at Great American, and he's consistently
3A,
he can consistently be under 15:20s if not less, And then you got Paul and Charles, who are running 15:20s, and I think Paul has sub 15:20 in his tank for sure.
Oh, I think it's sub 15 in his tank for sure.
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah, sub 15 for sure. If he's pushed hard enough, he can go sub 15. So it's like they have all those, and then you have 4A, where we got Ben leading 4A at 15:37. But usually whenever you hit the state series, it's never a race for time. It's like a race of champions, the race to win. So it may not be fast, but one thing that I say 4A has a lot over a lot of the other classifications is like the depth.
Yeah.
There will be a lot of guys from like 1 through 20 that are like really close together, And so that's how it is. Like you said, you got Andrew Miller, you got Ben, you got Deshae, Bryce is in there. I know Timothy Doyle. Timothy Doyle knows how to win.
He's a championship racer, yeah.
Yeah, he's a championship racer. He knows how to win, so he will definitely. I know he'll be up in that mix. And then I haven't heard much from him this cross country season, but I know he's a good runner, and everyone knows from last year track states for the 32. Isaiah De La Puente.
Yeah.
Last year he was in the mix, so I know he may not have run so great this year, but we don't know. When tapering starts to come down at the end of the season.
Yeah, what has he done actually? Now I'm gonna have to look that up while we're doing that. De La Puente.
Yeah. Isaiah De La Puente. He I think he ran his district meet. He ran a 16:18 recently at his district meet. I think it was something like that.
Yeah, he's at Forest Hill, right? Yeah, I'm gonna look that up now.
Okay. Yeah. So really, it's gonna be interesting. I just basically what I'm gonna be looking for at the state is just to stay composed. I don't really want to. At state, it's really like, I guess not dangerous, but for me, I feel like it'd be dangerous if I went out and led off the rip. Just because a lot of those guys are really up there. So I think it's just gonna be like how it has been in 4A for quite some time over the years, like it was last year. 4A went out, it was like that front leading pack, and I think that's just how it's going to be again this year. There's just going to be that pack, and it'll be that way up until about the 2 mile mark, I believe, or the mile and a half, 2 mile mark for sure, and then we'll start seeing some separation. So really, it's just like stay composed as possible through mile and a half, and then just kind of like carry it through to 2.5, and usually that last half mile of every cross country race handles itself. So if I could just stay in it 2.5 miles, I think it'll be really hard to outkick. Like I think I've been doing really well in that sense this year. So
yeah, for sure. I think you, Ben, and Deshae and Bryce will all be there, and obviously we know Bryce Bell, not a guy who runs a lot of championship races, and he doesn't Not a knock on him, I guess. He doesn't. He has to lead from the gun, I guess. Is what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say.
yeah,
He doesn't have a whole lot of speed. He's got a lot of strength. He's got strength in abundance, just not a whole lot of speed. So
yeah.
I
I
guess
know
the race
me
probably will
and
go out really hard.
yeah, I know Bryce. I remember like my junior year. That was the year that I was having a rough season, and Bryce was actually having a really good season. And so I was seeing him, or at least from what I can tell. I don't know how he was doing, like personally, but like from what I could tell, I could see like it looked like he was having a really good season, and he was just like hammering. Like every time I would run against Bryce, he would just like hammer me every time. And then um, one thing that I noticed, like this year, me and him we've raced a couple times this year,
Yeah.
and every time me and him race, it's always like a really good battle. He's a really good runner, and it always just seems like whenever we go at it, it's just like back and forth, and that's how
Yeah.
it was at pre-state this year. Like me and him, last mile of the race, it was literally just like back and forth between me and him, like changing. Like he would be in front of me, and I'd be in front of him, and he'd be in front of me, and I'd be in front of him,
Yeah.
and so. I'm sure at state this year at 2 miles, 2.5 miles, he'll be in the mix, and it may be 3 of us, it may be 2 of us, it may be
10 of
maybe
us.
me, him, Ben, it may be
Yeah, and if you just throw in Andrew Miller to Shea Fernandez, it could
Yeah.
just De La Puente if he gets his crap together, Doyle if he's
Yep.
there.
That's what I'm saying. At 2.5 miles, it's gonna be like
It will
someone's
be a
gonna have
battle.
to make a move.
Yeah,
Huh?
I think it'll be a battle. The last half mile
for sure.
or the last
That
1K,
last
I
half
guess.
mile was because I mean everyone knows state is the big one, and no one's gonna give it up easy. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be the one that's really gonna show like who wants it more,
For sure.
And I love races like that, to be honest. It sucks. Those are big races. No one likes to lose, but like those are races that you really like remember in your
Oh, absolutely.
career running. So
Yeah, for sure. And so now you have this week. You've got region, correct? This
yep,
Friday, right? So I guess you'll have a preview on Harspigsen this week. You get to race against Ben Harspigsen at Holloway Park, still correct?
Mhm.
And get to race over 3.2 miles rather than 5K.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is. We've wheeled it, we've GPSed it, we've done everything. A lot of people I know, and it's 3.2, not 3.1. At Holloway Park, once you come out of the woods and you get to the bend, where you're coming into the last straightaway and it gets uphill there, that's 3.1 right there.
Wow.
And so it's about 200 meters too long. So Holloway Park is a slow course, not really because of the terrain, but because it's actually long,
Wow.
which kind of sucks. But
I didn't know that.
yeah,
That's
no,
insane.
we had I had run with Brady and Stone Malik this summer, who's over at UT having a great season, by the way. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they had done their long runs and stuff there, and they'd finished 3 loops, and rather than being at 9.3, they'd be at 9.6 and stuff like that. So
Wow.
it's definitely long. We do know that. Most people know that that have GPS it. So basically, run there, but they're not racing.
Yeah. I haven't GPSed it yet. Because I haven't ran there unless I was racing.
Yeah.
I have to go up there though, for sure. There in Claremont. So, but that's interesting.
Yeah, no, for sure, that's definitely interesting.
No, but yeah, Ben, I think that's like me and him running at region. I think me and him are both pretty like we got it pretty good considering the fact that we get to run against each other. Obviously he's ranked first in 4A right now. So the fact that like we get to run against each other and get that like that idea, get the feel for it before going to state. That's definitely going to help out a lot.
Oh yeah,
with,
for sure.
with running, so.
Now, have you and Ben had gone head to head this season yet, or no?
We have. Okay, so we've gone. I raced Ben. I was trying to think of this. I raced Ben at Florida Runners
And at
and pre-state, yeah. But the only thing, and this is where I say like regionals is going to be a really good one, is so far all the 2 races that I've had with him, he wasn't like someone I was like shooting for to beat. It was like at Florida Runners, I went out with Foley at like a mile, which really drained me like really quick.
Yeah.
And then you had at pre-state, that one was just kind of just like go out, place top. And so all those times I really didn't have a chance to get a feel for how he runs. I know he starts off slow and then he'd always catch me at about 2 miles. And so I think region is going to be a really good one because at least at that race, it'll be like you're racing for region champ.
You won't be drained going out super hard, yeah.
Going out super hard, yeah. So it should be interesting for sure. It's going to be a good one.
All right, so Tristen, on to the next question. What is track season looking like for you? I know you're in cross country right now, but what are some goals just far ahead on like what you'd like to do if you're going to put a time on what you want to do in track season?
Time. Let's think time. Let's see. So 4x8. I want to do the 4x8 again. Last year I think was probably one of our better years with the 4x8. I don't know if our 4x8 is going to be so good this year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be okay, but I don't know if we'll be as good. Our team last year was pretty solid, even though we were last year. We ran like 808, second meet of the season.
Yeah. Which
is like super awesome. We were like, yeah, let's go. Like we're gonna run sub 8, and then we never hit 808 again. The rest of the year until like region. So still a good overall. So it was a good season. But yeah, 4x8, not too sure. 2 mile. I probably want to be. I honestly want to shoot for sub 920.
Yeah.
And then mile, shoot probably sub 420, if not maybe like 415.
Yeah.
And same thing with like the 2 mile, maybe 915, and then 420 in the mile. And then I'm not too big on the 8 or anything like that. So, and then obviously 2 mile, state champ. Really, that'd be like the big goal. So.
Yeah, and now I guess those are some pretty lofty goals. So what is your training like day to day with St. Cloud, I guess?
Yeah, so we changed it up this year. We ended up, so we always did workouts Monday, Wednesday, and then we just had like our runs, like regular runs Thursday, Tuesday and Thursday, and then we just have like pre-races Friday. And we actually changed it up where we do Tuesday, Thursday workouts.
Yeah.
And then we'll adjust it with certain meets that we have. So sometimes we'll have next week we're only going to have one workout.
Yeah.
So we'll have Tuesday workout. And so we moved our long run to Monday. So Mondays are our longer runs. And then Tuesday we have our workout. And then, Wednesday's like just recovery. It's not like a short recovery. It's still like on the long, like not long, but like 6-7 miles, but we'll just do it slow.
Yeah.
And then, Thursday we'll do, on a normal week, if we had a meet on Saturday, on Thursdays we'd usually do like another workout, whether it be like fartleks or, depending on the meet, if we wanted to do some like hill training, or if we wanted to do like striders or something like that. Things like that we do on Thursday. And then Friday is just pre-race day. Like if we have a meet Saturday, Friday would be pre-race day. So, and then it adjusts depending on like what meets we have.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, now it's interesting. What we did with Newsom was a little bit different. That sounds like the structure we do in college. We have Tuesday, Thursday workouts, Saturday long run if we're not racing, or Sunday long run if we do race. But what we did in high school, which I thought worked really well, which I think is interesting, we'd have like on Monday was usually like a tempo day. And it wasn't a hard tempo. It wasn't super long and it wasn't super fast. It was by no means like anything spectacular. It was just quality mileage essentially. And we always every day get a full warm up and the drills and everything, which is a little different than what we do in college. That's more reserved for workout days here. But in high school, what we did, we'd have that, but we had workouts like 3-4 days a week, but they weren't all super hard workouts. We had an A workout day and we had a B workout day. And I
Yep.
guess we used the principle of overload a lot in our training. It was great for us. It worked really well for us. It worked really well for me to be able to get out and run hard and shake out once or twice a week, but get out and run hard a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And have a group of guys to get out and run hard with a lot. And I think that's been
Yeah.
my vice in college is I don't have a group of guys to get out and run hard with.
Yeah.
On workout days, that is. On easy days, if I want to go, chug 640s, I can go chug 640s. But on workout days, there's no way I can, run mile repeats at 440.
Yeah.
That's been my vice. But I thought what we did at Newsom was very interesting, and what you guys do sounds pretty structured. So I'm guessing there's a long run on Saturday or Sunday, 1 or 2 days, depending on how you guys race.
Yeah. So typically, I remember my previous years, freshman through junior year, we actually didn't even do Sunday long runs. So my coach is he's a Christian man. He believes, you should have a rest day, and he always chose Sunday for that day. So he's like, look, Sunday, you could do a rest day, it's all good. And then when we got more serious into it, senior year, it becomes where when you start running at a certain level, you can't exactly skip Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday is an important day. It's probably one of the more important days in your training. So now he doesn't require us to do it, but now it's kind of more on our own, get a run in. Even if it's not long, because like I said, our long run days are actually Mondays. So, but it's just to get something in your leg. So if it's just something 4, 6, 8 miles, something like that, just to get depending on the mileage you're trying to hit for the week, then we just go ahead and do that. So
now, do you guys practice in the afternoon?
Yes.
Oh, so a long run in the afternoon. That's brutal.
Yeah, it is terrible, especially at the beginning of the season, man. We'd have to do mile intervals in 95-degree weather that you look at the heat index and it says 106, and you're just and you have to go and do mile repeats, and it's just
terrible.
But yeah, I guess getting used to that, we prepare for later on throughout the season. Obviously championship season, it starts to cool down a little bit, so
yeah, for sure. And now I guess beyond that, training in 12 months, where do you see Tristen Montalvo athletic wise, not necessarily school wise, because that's a big decision that you've I know you have to make, you haven't committed, but
yes. So 12 months, I want to be better. I want to be better than I am now, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So really, I want to be running in college, and basically what I'm looking for in college really is I just want to be able to find someone, find a team and a coach that's going to make me a better runner, that's going to make me I want to be a part of a program where I'm not just another number, I want to be able to be a part of a program that it matters something to the team, where I can use my talents and, be of use to that program and all that. So, where I want to be, it's kind of hard. Say 8K. I definitely, trying to think time. 8K.
Well, if you're coming to the 5K at sub 16, you're running 26 something.
Yeah. So I'd say, 8K. I definitely want to probably be sub 26, to be honest. Going in. So.
That's about 15 high, because you're going through 26 flat. I think is 510s.
Yeah. So I'd probably be 26. Yeah. So. Yeah, so low 26, if not sub 26 for sure.
Yeah.
And then track season, if I'm running track, 5K on the track, try and get as close to sub 14 or sub 15, I meant, as possible.
Yeah.
And if not break, sub 15 on the track. So definitely where I'd be at.
Yeah, for sure. And so I guess you got to have somewhere to go to do that. What has the recruiting process been like for you up to this point? I know you've had contact with a few schools. What has it been like up to this point? How has it gone for you? What has your process been?
It's been a little stressful.
Yeah.
As I'm sure it has for a lot of people. So I actually, if there's one tip, and I tell my teammates all the time, if there's one tip I'd give anyone, if there's any younger guys watching that are juniors or sophomores or even freshmen, get all your college like things, like figure out which schools you want to go to and all that, and get it done like as soon as possible. Like if you're a junior, I would say this is like the perfect time to do it. Your junior year, start emailing as many coaches as you can when it comes to like, find this. If there's a school you want to go to, get the email to a coach or whatever. Email that coach. Ask if it's possible that you could run there. Tell them you're interested in the program, things like that. If you're not at this level, that if you're not exactly at the level for their standards yet, ask them what you can run in order to be to be used on their team, to walk on or anything like that. And so for me, I actually struggled a bit with doing that. I took a lot of time, and so going into my like senior year, I had gone on one unofficial visit so far, so I was pretty late to the game. But considering the fact that I was late to the game, I've gotten through it a little bit, like a lot better than I thought it would go, And
Yeah.
so I've been to a couple schools, been to Stetson, been to Embry-Riddle, and I'm going to be going to UNF soon, tomorrow actually. So as far as colleges out of state, I'm not exactly interested in any colleges out of state. I would like to, but I'm not sure if that's something I want to I guess divulge in.
Yeah.
It's far from home. It might be hard getting home on like holidays and things like that. So
Yeah.
I've really just limited myself to schools in Florida,
Yeah.
and the ones that I think I can run at, that I could be good for their team, where I'm not just any other number, but at the same time have a school that is going to make me better, and that I
Yeah.
can click with the team really well. So, and the schools that I've mentioned were really some of the options that I thought of that would be good for me. And I'm not too sure when I will sign. But the early signing period is coming up really quick, and so let's see, after this visit with UNF, get a idea of where I'm at and maybe what I want to do from there. So
Yeah, for sure. Now, we were talking earlier about, before we had got on here, about how kids are getting faster. They really are. It seems now every year there's a sub 4 miler. I think there's been one 3 years in a row now with Grant Fisher 3 years ago, Drew Hunter 2 years ago, and last year we had Reed Brown. Drew Hunter and Sadowski 2 years ago. Now we've got Reed Brown last year, and we've got a whole slew of kids this year that probably will do it. Now, what are you thinking about kids getting faster?
That's I talk with my teammates about this all the time. I was talking with not too long ago, yesterday actually. I was talking with Brady and my teammate. We were all talking about how that same thing, like with kids getting faster, whereas it does seem like it's a normal thing for kids to go sub 4 now, and I think it's honestly really cool to see, like, and just in general, it goes with everything, like, we were saying yesterday, obviously, because this is more on like a personal level with us, like our region has gotten a lot faster than it has like in the previous years. So my sophomore year, I had made it to state, and I got 7th place at region, and I think I ran a 17:02, I think it was.
At Northport, right?
No, that was my freshman year. My sophomore year was at Holloway Park.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're
So-
I forget that.
Yeah, so it was like 17:02. So it's like that was, that situation. Whereas like now it seems that there's like so much more depth, and there's so many more guys that are running in that general area where it's kind of hit or miss, So it's like someone can run a 17:02 this year and they may not make it to region, and because there's so many more guys doing it, that it's going to be that close of a race. So it's just like, it's really interesting to see. Like I get fascinated by it. I mean, it was like I was talking to my teammate the other day, and we were saying, I remember a couple years back, it was my sophomore year, I think. I remember seeing, um, it was Andrew Hunter.
Yep.
He had ran the 14:26 at Foot Locker South.
Yep.
To win the Foot Locker South meet, and I remember when I saw that when he ran 14:26, I was like, dude, that is like insane. I was like, there's no way, like no one has like ever ran that fast. Like, whoa, I was going nuts, and like now that's like a normal thing. There's so many guys that are running sub 15.
Yeah.
That are running like 1440s, 1450s, if not lower.
Yeah.
And it's just like you have. I mean, you have guys that have done it before. You have guys that may not have done it so much this year. You got like Dustin Horter, Dalton Hench. You got the guys last year, like Seth Hurst, Reed Brown, all those guys. Yeah, so you got like all these guys. It's become like a normal thing. It's just interesting to see like how far it's come. Like it's strange too. It's funny. I talk to my like coaches and stuff like that. I'm like, man, like how many people are probably on a campus that could be like really, really, really good runners that like don't even know, because they've never like tried, like could you imagine somebody at Flagler, just walking around campus and like he could be like a 15-minute 5K guy or like a sub 15 guy, It's just like interesting to think about. Like they're all around, It just seems to be more and more every year.
Yeah.
So.
That's the beautiful thing about a sport, though. There could be a 15-minute guy anywhere, and anyone can really be a 15-minute guy if they, work hard and long enough. It might take some time to get there, more time for others to get there than others, but everyone essentially has the possibility to do it.
Yep.
And, it obviously some of it comes down to genetics, having long legs and body proportions like that, and being real skinny and having a high metabolism, but anyone really can do it.
Yeah. It's like, that's what I always... Like I always think about that too. I'm like, man, like I think of people that do run like sub 15 5Ks, and I'm like, man, like how fast do you have to be going? Like
450 a mile.
Like, yeah, I know, and it's like it's just so interesting to think that like a guy that's running sub 15, let's say a guy that's running 1450s, and a guy that's running 1550s is feeling the exact same pain. Except, one is just going faster than the other,
Yeah.
And so it always gets me thinking, I'm like, man, like, where does that person even start that's running sub 14s? And then you look, or sub 15, sorry, and then you look at, like, where they start, and you're just like, man, like you should, like, that they're going to run sub 15, or they're going to be, like, that crazy runner just off of, like, where they start off at,
Yeah.
It's just, it's bizarre. Sure. Like, I see so many kids. I mean, I remember my teammate telling me about there's a kid from Texas. He's a freshman, and he was running.
Oh yeah.
I think he ran sub 15 already as like a freshman.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. It's not Alex Meyer, because Alex Meyer's done a lot, but I don't think that's him.
Yeah, it was some, I don't know his name, but I remember he just told me, and I was like, wow, like that's insane to think about,
Yeah, here, I'll pull it up and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I guess
it's just like
something we didn't discuss in the intro. Foot Locker South, if you're going to predict the guys from Florida who will get out, who are you thinking?
So, for sure, Paul better be there, or he's going to hear it from me.
Yeah, he'll hear from me too.
But yeah, okay. Paul, I think Paul's definitely going to go to nationals. He's got the strength. He's worked definitely hard enough for it. So I think Paul will be there. Trevor Foley will be up in that mix. Let's see. Let me think about some of these. I don't know if he's going. Is Michael Phillips going there?
He is.
Locker going there? Oh, okay, I wasn't sure if he's going to Nike. Michael Phillips should definitely be up in that mix as well. And you think Charles Hicks is going to Nike.
You think Josh Collins will be up in the mix?
Josh Collins, hopefully. I saw he committed to Embry-Riddle just recently too. That's really good. So, Josh Collins, I think he has the capability to be up in the mix. I know he's been having
a tough year for sure.
A tough year, yeah. But I mean, you can't take away from the fact that he was like a stud last year.
Yeah,
he
he
was more this side.
13th at Walker South last year.
Yeah, so he was he was there, for sure last year. So, I think if he's having a good off season, we'll see how the rest of the week goes, or the rest of the year goes, as far as the postseason. If he's done it once, man, he can do it again for sure. So, he should definitely be up in that mix as well. But yeah, I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head else.
Yeah, I don't know anyone else really.
There's a lot of guys that I think are like, I guess in this sense, first years that are going this year too. Like Josh Collins will be a returnee, but Paul, I don't know if Paul went last year.
He did not. No, he's never been up there.
Yeah, so he's never been there. Trevor Foley was not there last year, and so a lot of those guys that are going up, this will be their first year, so it'll be interesting to see how they run. And it is a pretty quick course, considering, to be honest.
Minus the second mile, of course.
Yeah,
the second mile is really tough, and that's the middle of the race when everyone doesn't want to run hard.
Yep. So it really, in that sense, it really just comes down to who's going to be strong, who's going to keep it going. So it'll definitely be a good one. Florida, I think Florida is like usually Florida and Virginia, right? As like far as teams.
Texas.
And Texas, yeah,
Texas
they bring a lot of the. Yep, they usually bring a lot to the table. So, I know Florida's going to bring a banger for sure. So.
Oh, absolutely. Now, lastly, something we like to discuss here, Christian and I. Well, we'll rip to Christian because the computer's not working, but something Christian and I discuss every episode with anyone who's on. What has running meant to you, and what does it mean to you in a spiritual sense, more so than just the competition, and what has it taught you?
Yeah. So minus the competition, that's like everything.
Well, the competition obviously is part of it, but outside of the competition.
Yeah. No, running has been a big part of my life for obviously the last 4 years. Brought me all through high school. And to be honest, I'm not like some of these other guys. There's a lot of people that have been running since they were really, really young. And I actually started doing this in 8th grade. My sister got into it her sophomore year of high school. And she just did it because my mom wanted her to join a sport. And so she ended up doing it, and she fell in love with it, and then she was finding a lot of success, and it became like it opened up our minds to like a new sport in like our house. And so I was like, man, like I want to try. So I tried it my 8th grade year, and I was like an average runner. And then over the summer, I was training more with like the high school team. Yeah. And then I got into it a little bit more. So I've really come to love the sport a lot more, and on a spiritual sense, it's really just like, it's like for everyone, it's a stress reliever, and it's really like a way to open up my mind in every sense, Everyone knows when you go on a run, like when you're upset or you're depressed or you're stressed or you can't figure something out, like a run is like the best way to clear your head and get it drained for you. So for me, that's just what it is. And it's really just about, for me, I'd say I just like the idea. I'm a very competitive person, and I like the idea of I have control over how good I want to be. And that's what I like about running. You don't rely on anyone when it comes to running. Yeah. It's all about you, your body. You take care of it. If you put in the work, like you're going to see results. Like you're in charge of how good you're going to be, And so I've gone on runs recently too. I've literally gone on runs. I'll leave the house and I'll run down the street and I'll just I'll look out and I'll literally smile because I'm like super excited to get into a run, which is a lot better because, like I said before, my junior year I fell into like a super dark hole when it came to running. I was literally questioning whether or not I still wanted to run, especially in college. And then the idea that I was able to, I guess recover from that and just find that love for running, it just matters so much more now,
for sure.
That competitive aspect. So it's brought me, like I said, it's brought me a long way. It's been like the last 4 years, and I think it was a blessing. Like What was it? When I was in middle school and elementary school, I lived in Point Siena, which is like about 45 minutes from where I live now, and there wasn't much there, to be honest. I mean, my sister she went to this middle school that was probably one of the most like not very good middle schools, and we ended up moving, and we thought it was the end of the world. No one likes to move, and so.
Yeah.
We ended up moving out here, and my sister ended up going to St. Cloud, and I think that was like the biggest blessing because like that's what got us, my sister running, so it got me running, it got my sister in college, should get me in college, so it's just like it's something different for everyone, which I think is the best thing about running. Like running matters to people in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so cool about it. Like everyone has a different story, everyone has a different feeling towards running. And for me, I just feel like it really opened the doors for like what is to come in general for everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's my future career, whether it's just a hobby or anything like that. So running is probably the best sport. I'd say one of the best sports to get into for sure. Not just in the sense of training and the competitiveness, but just like the community of runners. For sure, for me, that'd be it. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for coming on, Tristan. Loved having you and hearing your input. Anything else you'd like us to hear?
No, definitely not. I just thank you for having me. Sorry, thank you for having me on. I've been wanting to do this for a little while, and I'm excited to see where this podcast is going to go. I know it's going to be super huge, and thanks to everyone who's supporting Dustin and Christian on this podcast. It's really going good, so thanks again.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.